This is On the Sidelines with Box 13.
All right, welcome into another episode of the On the Sidelines podcast. I'm Ethan McReynolds, joined by, as always, my partner in crime, Dante Jackson. We got a packed show today. Really, this is probably going to be a long one. The Storm drafting the number 2 overall draft pick yesterday, getting Dominique Malonga. We're going to talk Mariners. A couple of bad weeks as we started the podcast, but a good week this last week, going 5-1 on the homestand. We've got a special guest for this episode. We're really excited about this one.
Yes.
Former Manchester United winger Gordon Hill. He has an FA Cup to his name. He brought in a couple of things from his career. So we're really excited to show you that later in the episode. We've got, what's trending right now around the country. Something to do with the greatest player of all time, LeBron James. Can I say that to you? I don't even know if I can say that.
James.
Yeah, okay, all right. I didn't know if you were a Jordan guy. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later.
Yes.
And then we're bringing a new segment, Top 5, Dead or Alive. Dante's got some takes with the Storm in their draft history. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to end with the Storm. We're also going to start with the Storm. Okay. Dominique Malonga is a member of the Seattle Storm. Dante, D-Jack.
Welcome.
What is your reaction to the draft pick, number 2 overall?
I love the pick. I mean, it seems like the draft started at 2. I mean, it was a foregone conclusion that Paige Beckers was going to be the top pick for Dallas, and rightfully so. She earned it. She was great in this year's NCAA tournament. She had a great career at UConn. She capped it off with a championship. Her legacy is sealed at UConn, along with the greats. But the draft started at number 2, and Dominique Malonga, I mean, the only word to describe her, unicorn. 6'6", athletic, can dunk the basketball. She's more of a wing player than a center. 7'1" wingspan. By all accounts, been a pro since she was 15 years old. She's 19 right now, so she's young. She's still developing. So the future is bright for the Storm. I love the pick.
I will say I was a little bit disappointed that the Storm weren't able to get a trade done to trade up to get Paige Beckers. When a generational talent comes through and you've got an asset like the pick right below the number 1 overall pick, with picks next year and the year past that, with an Esme Magbagor that you can sort of dangle as trade bait. I was disappointed, but there's a lot of people, and if Dallas isn't going to pick up the phone, they're not going to pick up the phone. Right. So it takes 2 to tango.
Yes.
It's unfortunate that they weren't able to get it done. But Dominique Malonga is an exciting prospect.
Yes.
Yesterday on our Washington Sports Wrap show, which was entirely dedicated to the Storm and their draft. Check it out on the Fox Local app if you're looking for more Storm coverage. Elise Woodward, Storm color analyst, was on the show. She is incredibly excited, to say the least, about the Storm's newest number 2 overall pick.
She is an incredible player, athletic, smooth. She's a player that's just 19 years old. She should be a college freshman right now, and she's going to have a chance to develop. She's got parts of her game that are like Brianna Stewart. She's got a soft touch from mid-range. She can shoot the 3. Those will develop. She's got a 7'1" wingspan, which is the same as Stewie.
Yeah.
She can block shots. She can run the floor as fast as any guard. And the dunk is effortless for her. She will dunk when she gets significant minutes. And so I'm absolutely thrilled.
So there's a lot of intrigue with this pick.
Yes.
There's a lot of different things. So she's 19. Players are normally coming into the WNBA 22, 23 after they graduate from college. She's coming in a couple of years earlier. 6'6", can shoot it, plays like a wing. People call her the female Wemby. After Victor Wembanyama, who can do everything at 7'3" for the San Antonio Spurs, was the 2024 number 1 overall pick in the NBA.
Let's hope she can win, because that's one thing Wemby hasn't done in his short 2-year tenure.
When you get drafted number 1 overall, it's not with that roster.
He is with the Spurs,
yeah.
So that's a winning organization. But let's hope Malonga can come here and bring some wins along with her. I love the comparison to Wemby. It's a French connection, and we have a French connection here in Gabby Williams.
Yeah.
So, Dominique would have a soft landing here with teammates from the national team, the French national team, who were silver medalists at this past Olympics. So it seems like it's all set for her here with the Storm. I'm excited to see what she can bring. I want to see her game, definitely.
Well, yeah, the one thing that Elise brought up, because I'm not as familiar with her game as Elise is, and she said she'd watched her since she was 16, which is crazy. She can shoot it a little bit, which as a 6'6" forward, 7'1" wingspan, you're not going to be able to contest that in the WNBA. So incredibly intriguing. My question is, from what I've been hearing, this is not a player that you're going to expect to, and Elise said this on the show, it's not a player that you're going to expect to have a double-double, average double-double throughout her rookie season, right? She's going to take time to develop. The potential is what you're buying into, which honestly, and I know people are really excited about this pick, is something that worries me a little bit because, I mean, we can talk about the Storm specifically. They're in a win now mode. In Seattle sports, a lot of it is, they have the potential to be great. Right. So it's you're asking me to drink the Kool-Aid a little bit and convince myself that this is going to turn the Storm into a contender and she's going to be this Hall of Fame player. I love that. It's just tough seeing on the other side Paige Beckers, who I would put money down that she's going to have a Hall of Fame career in the WNBA. With all that she was able to accomplish in the college game.
Now, let me push back on that because Paige Beckers is not without reservations. I have reservations about her, especially her health. She has an injury history. I think she's torn her ACL twice. She's been in college for 6 years. So, and I also question her athleticism and if she can beat the players in the WNBA. You're talking about grown women, the best women players in the world here. Now, I do think she'll be a great player, but it's not without question. So, Malonga is said to be a great prospect. The future is bright, but I think the Storm are ready to win right now with their veterans. You add a little young spice in there, and they can take it over the top. I really believe in Malonga.
It'll be interesting. The Paige does have the injury history. I just think she's got that dog in her.
Yes.
No
doubt.
When you need a bucket, give me the freaking ball and get out of the way, and she's going to go get you a bucket. So, I think the Storm got the best player available outside of Paige Beckers.
Right.
But let's not forget the discourse coming into this draft is this is a one-player draft.
Yes.
And so there's a gap between 1 and 2. So to think that, I think it's a little bit misleading to now, with the recency bias, think that Dominique Malonga is going to,
Nobody's saying she's going to be better.
Right.
I don't think anybody's making that mistake right now. Dominique has a lot to prove and show us.
A lot of growth.
She has been a pro since she's 15, so she has been a pro, and she's averaged a double-double, 15 and 10 over here for her pro team over in France.
Yep.
So she has the experience, definitely. She went to Tony Parker's Academy of Sports, so she has the training also from somebody that was over here in the NBA. Her pedigree is certified, definitely. Now, are we saying she's Paige Beckers? No, we've grown with Paige. We've seen her grow. We also seen some of the things that Paige couldn't do. So Paige was that #1 pick overall, and she deserved it. She earned it. But you got a unicorn in the 2 pick, and I compare this to the Kevin Durant, Greg Oden draft, and it's kind of ironic because that's the player she said she kind of like inspires her game inspires after. It's Kevin Durant, and so she's more of a wing player. She's 6'6". She doesn't want to be put under the basket, and I compare her to that draft where Kevin Durant was a #2 pick for, ironically enough, the Seattle Supersonics, one of the last draft picks for that franchise, and and he ended up being the best player in that draft. So it can happen. We've seen it. History shows it has happened. And I'm just praying that Malonga is a serviceable, player and grows into a superstar. And she has all the attributes, all the measurements, all the measurables. So welcome, Dominique. They call her Dunkanique now, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I like that.
She already got a nickname, Dunkanique. Okay.
That's pretty good. It's gonna the first time she dunks in Climate Pledge Arena.
Yes.
It is going to be electric. Let's take a step back and look at the broader picture with the Seattle Storm. It has been a roller coaster of an offseason.
Yes.
From the bullying allegations by Jewel Lloyd to Jewel requesting a trade to that trade going down. The dust has finally now settled now that the draft is over. What do you make of this roster, and what should the expectations be heading into this season?
I like the roster. Something can be said for chemistry. And I said it even personally before this podcast was on air last year. Something was off about the Storm.
Yes.
And I was looking for Jewel Lloyd to step up in that leadership role, and I don't think she did that last year. Skylar Diggins-Smith took over this team and was the bona fide leader of this team. She had that attitude, she had that grit, and I love it. So I think this can be addition by subtraction. You hate to lose the points. Jewel Lloyd is definitely one of the best Storm players ever in history. But sometimes, it's time to move on. And I think it was time to move on for Jewel Lloyd. And I think this team will be better for it. You still have Gabby Williams. You got Diggins-Smith. You got a young budding star in Magbagor. And you have the wily veteran in Ogumake. So I think the core is set, and you have a great team here with the Storm that can compete. And one thing about the W is it's getting bigger. And now you bring in a 6'6" wing, along with the players you already have. I like the size of the Storm because that's the way the league is going now. I like this team. I think they can go and do it.
I think there's a couple of things to point out. Obviously, the injuries to Nika Mule sucks, but she was not a key rotation player this last season. Jordan Horston, that injury is going to hurt. And you see in the NBA how, it is a league run by stars, but how important those role players are. I mean, the Denver Nuggets, like with Nikola Jokic is maybe the greatest offensive player of all time.
Right.
And, they're sitting at a middling seed. They just fired their coach because they don't have the role players. So, I think Jordan Horston's going to be a big loss for this team, but it is going to be interesting how this team plays without Jewel Lloyd. You can definitely make the arguments she took a lot of shots and a lot of inefficient shots, and that's sort of her game, and she's had a lot of success doing it, but it didn't really work last year. Going from Jewel being the focal point of the offense to Nneka Ogumake with Skylar being a playmaker and having more of a pivotal role, it could work. I mean, Nneka Ogumake is a proven vet, still in the prime of her career, would you say?
No,
so,
I would say she's on the back end, but she's still a great player, I would say. And again, I talked about addition by subtraction. We forget Gabby Williams joined this team late last year.
Absolutely.
And I think it was a disconnect between the coach, Jordan Horston, and Gabby Williams. They kind of shared time there when I thought Gabby was the better player at this point in their career. So I think if you feature Gabby Williams, I think she can make up for the loss of Horston. Now, you want Horston to come back to bolster that bench and bolster the depth, but I think with the addition of Gabby Williams for a full season, I think is only looking up for the Storm. I like this roster.
Yeah, it's good. It's going to be fun to watch. Again, just gutted for Jordan Horston. She was that,
Get better.
I mean, she was just that energy spark off the bench.
Yes.
And
I like her game. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I'm not saying, I love her game.
Yeah,
definitely.
It would have been nice to have both those players, and they're going to need to shoot the three ball better. Elise Woodward was talking about that on the show on Washington Sports Wrap last night. Maybe Dominique Malonga can help out with that. Maybe
again, I go back to the makeup of the team. You had Sammy Whitcomb over the years, who was our sharpshooter, the Storm sharpshooter, 3-point shooter. Then you move her to more ball handling duties and playing point guard and trying to play make. That is not her game.
Right.
She was not in the right spot. You put her back in the right position as a shooter. I believe her shooting, her percentages go up. You had her out of position. She can play backup point guard. She can be a playmaker, but that's not what you ask her on a full-time basis, and that's where I think it was a disconnect last season. I look for a better season from her and a lot of other players with the shooting.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. There's a lot of excitement around this Storm team when they open their season, I believe in May. I mean, it is coming up, so it's going to be fun to watch.
Go.
Dominique Malonga in a Storm uniform.
Dunkanique.
Yeah, Dunkanique Malonga, fan favorite of the show right here on the Sidelines. Let's shift over to the Mariners real quick.
Yes, let's go.
So the first 2 weeks that from awful. I mean, and we talked about it ad nauseum on this show. But they had a pretty good week, Dante.
Yes,
they had a pretty damn good week.
5 in a row.
5-1.
Yes.
5-1 on the homestand. not only just on any homestand, beating the Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers.
Sweep.
The two teams. Sweep. The two teams that were projected to win more games than you in the division. That is giant. And sweeping the Texas Rangers, no less. It was an incredible week. And Dante, the Mariners listen to you. They bring up Ben Williamson. They're bringing up the farm.
Bring him up. I told you last episode.
Noted listener of the podcast, the Seattle Mariners and Jerry DiPoto. Thank you so much for listening to my partner's suggestion of bringing up the
Jerry
young guns.
DiPoto, he has his sideline pass, so why don't you grab yours, okay? Come get your sideline pass and come on the sideline and catch us up. I told you last episode, bring those young guys up. Why not? And Ben Williamson is on his way. And by all accounts, he's a great glove at third base, which, I mean, the Mariners can utilize definitely. You got to shore up that defense.
There's been some high praise for his defense coming up through the minors. So it's going to be really fun to watch. And I think it's going to be pretty refreshing to see somebody that can actually plays the position of third base, play the hot corner. I mean, I feel like we've been really spoiled over the years with the defense there, from Kyle Seager to Eugenio Suarez. Josh Rojas did an admirable job last year. I mean, I thought he could have been nominated for a Gold Glove with how good he plays. And he's a second baseman. And, this year it has not been the same. Jorge Polanco, battling injuries. I don't think he has the arm to play over there. Dylan Moore's made a couple of mistakes. He's made some good plays, but he's made a couple of mistakes. Miles Mastrobuoni does not have the arm to play over there, no matter how versatile he is as a defender. And he's been swinging the bat well, but defensively, not really. It's going to be fun to watch Ben Williamson over there. Similar, I feel like, to in Evan White, coming up as a defense. That's what's gotten him to the big leagues is his defense. He's had a good start in Tacoma, but, offensively, that's where I'm going to be looking can he stick around at this level?
I was optimistic until you said Evan White. I love the glove.
You know what? That's fair.
Come on.
That's fair.
We still want hits.
His glove got him a 3-year, $27 million contract.
You know what?
He was a Gold Glove winner in the COVID year.
But we still want hits. Right now, we need those hits.
But that's sort of the I don't know, prototype, the build of the player. He's got, that he can immediately come in and play Gold Glove level defense. It's whether the bat is going to develop or not.
And that's the bat.
That's the one thing about bringing prospects up too early is, if they get hit in the face too early in their careers and they've, some guys they can't bounce back from it. So, we're hoping that Ben Williamson can bring the bat, and he's, he profiles out as a good contact hitter, which is something this Mariners team needs. So that'll be fun. But enough about Ben Williamson. I wanted to
circle back to the winning streak.
That's what I wanted to do as well.
Anytime you can beat your division opponents is a great time. And right now, the Mariners are on top of their division right now. So I hope they stay that way and go ahead and widen that gap between Houston and the Texas and the A's. I keep wanting to say Oakland. But anytime you can beat a division opponent, I'll take it. And the Mariners have done that. And I don't want to turn into it's a long season guy like we talked about.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It really is.
It is.
And so I wanted to tell you, I wanted to make a proclamation today, Ethan, and just be like, I'm done. I'm done with the roller coaster, Mariners. You got me, okay? It's a long season. All right, they say it all the time, and now I'm just done with the roller coaster because you played like crap the first 2 series. Then now
that's putting it nicely.
You look like world beaters right now, beating division opponents. So, if I ride this roller coaster all season, I don't have any hair right now. It might grow back and then fall back out again. So, good luck, Mariners. All season I'm with you. Definitely optimistic on the season. Hopefully we can keep those bats going.
I don't think any Mariners fan is happy with how much the team on a day-to-day basis impacts their mental health. But, hey, that's what we sign up for as baseball fans, as Mariners fans specifically. So you just got to enjoy the ride.
Yes.
And, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, but, it –
Now, you wanted to ask me that I have a player.
Yeah, do you have a player that you wanted to highlight throughout this 6th-game homestand that
I want you to go first.
You want me to go? Okay.
Yes.
Well, I got 2, so we'll go me, then you.
Yeah, okay. Let's go.
Cal Raleigh, man.
Okay.
I mean, he's got the torpedo bat. home runs in 3 straight games against the Rangers with the sweep of the Rangers, just leading the way, leading the charge offensively.
Yes.
I mean, just get everyone the torpedo bat. I mean, Cal really likes that thing. 3 home runs, 3 games. He's now leading the team with 5 bombs so far, 3 weeks throughout the year. Went 4 for 10 in the series. Raised his batting average up to 220 from below 200. You knew that he was going to hit at some point, and now that he finally has, that lineup just gets deeper. Just the value he provides, not only defensively, not only fighting through injuries, not only just can't help the club in the tub.
Yeah.
Cal Raleigh's not in the tub.
Hey,
He's never in the tub.
I mean, the grit that Cal Raleigh shows, it epitomizes the attitude you want to have for your team. You want to have that fighter. You want to have that grinder, and then he can put it over the fence. And not only that, he's handling a historic pitching staff. I mean, admirably. I mean, he's a great defensive player. So I love the pick in Cal, but I'm going to go with Randy. Randy Arozarena. I was watching the game last weekend when he hit the grand slam to get us close, and then Julio comes in with a double to put us ahead. But Randy Arozarena, I mean, he comes as advertised. He's a stabilizing force, a nice veteran to pair up with Julio. I like Randy, definitely. I think he can bring that batting average up for sure. He needs to get a few more hits, but in the clutch situations, Randy has come through.
Well,
so that's my star player.
Yeah, he only has 9 hits on the year. 7 of them are for extra bases.
Yes,
so,
yes.
I mean, he's providing the thump in the middle of that lineup. And the discipline that he had in that Game 3 against the Astros, he hits the grand slam, and then they come out, bases loaded,
the walk-off.
tie game, bottom of the 9th. I mean, with Randy Arozarena, and he likes to swing the bat, and he swings the bat hard. For him to work it at bat, know that the pitcher has to come to him, and then have the discipline to take a walk-off walk.
Yes.
I mean, it's a win either way. Like, if you hit a grand slam in that, it's not worth 5 wins.
Right.
You need the win. And to win that series with how the ball club had been playing to that point, I mean, what an incredible moment at T-Mobile Park.
That was a jolt of energy that this team needed.
Yes.
And I watched that game, and I watched that at-bat. And I was sitting there biting my fingernails, but he was so calm in the box, and he just let it happen. And it's a walk-off walk, of all things. I mean, and they win the game. So I definitely like his patience in the box right now. Like I said, I want that bat to heat up, but right now he's been coming in clutch with the extra base hits like you talked about. Randy is that guy.
It wouldn't be right to talk about this homestand without giving a shout-out to the pitching staff.
Oh, always.
Specifically, I'm going to give a shout-out to Brian Wu with his start against the Rangers.
Yes.
Man, I mean, what a performance. So that first inning, I mean, they are just peppering him all over the yard. I think he walked the first 2 guys, and then gives up a couple of singles, gives up a run, bases loaded, nobody out, gets out of it, just the 1 run on 27 pitches. Like, man, he got out of it, but he's up to 27 pitches.
Right.
Like, he's not going to make it deep into this ball game. It's going to be another game where Dan Wilson has to tax his bullpen. You've got the rest of the series that you got to look to with the Rangers. No, he goes 7 innings, 1 earned run on 90 pitches. I think he averaged like 11 pitches the rest of the way after that first inning. Just unbelievable stuff from Brian Wu. And he doesn't have all the bells and whistles that the Logan Gilberts and the Bryce Millers have with the splitter and the curveball and the 2 fastballs. He does have the 2 fastballs, but he does it with such a minimalist arsenal. It's just so impressive. I mean, he's over 50% 4-seamers and 2-seamers, and nobody can hit it.
Right.
He's got that funky arm slide. Brian Wu, I was much higher on other pitchers in this rotation coming into this season and throughout last season. He has just been so impressive to me.
Yes.
And this is the roller coaster. I mean, these are the ups.
I mean, because you look at Emerson Hancock, one of their other prospects, or a pitcher that they had brought up, and he throws 27 pitches in the first inning, and he gets lit up for 6 runs.
Yeah.
Whereas Brian Wu stops it. He's a stopper, and that's what he is. And some experts have called this. They said Brian Wu was a Cy Young Award winning, he could win that award. They can see him doing that. I mean, the Mariners has a wealth of talent at the pitching. It's almost embarrassing. And that's why you're so adamant about these bats heating up, because we know the pitching is there.
Right.
Now, we talked about in previous episodes, I said 4 is the magic number. I feel like if you can consistently earn 4 runs in a game, you will win. You will be in the playoffs with this pitching staff.
Absolutely.
And they have come as advertised, and this is without George Kirby. So you still have, an A+ pitcher coming once he gets healthy. So it's just looking up for the Mariners. Let's get these bats going. The pitching is there. Go Mariners.
Well, and it's they now head out on the road for I believe 9 games. I believe it's an East Coast road trip, which is difficult. Which made this homestand even more important. Not only to sweep the Rangers, but to win both series. You get a little bit of extra with the sweep over the Rangers. So yeah, now you go to Cincinnati, who Aaron Goldsmith was on sports radio this morning talking about it. They're not a very good fastball hitting team. You know what the Mariners do really well in the starting rotation? They throw the fastball, throw it right down your throat. They throw strike one.
Let me stop you right there. That is not the attitude you want to have if you're a Mariner. You cannot take anything for granted, and that's been my problem.
It's a good matchup.
That's been my problem with the Mariners over the years. You can't count on anything. You have to go out there and grind every win out. You have to win every game like it's your last, and that's the attitude you have to have as the Mariners. Because Cincinnati will come here, you will go there, and they'll tear the cover off the ball with you throwing fastballs. And then we're going to say, well, they didn't hit fastballs before the Mariners got here. No excuses. You go in there, don't take anything for granted. Go grind out those wins and beat this bad team.
It is a good sign. It's an indication the Mariners do what they do. It's going to match up well with the Reds. So I'm optimistic going into the season, and they're riding off the 2 series wins. Then they go to Toronto. Cal Raleigh loves playing against the Blue Jays.
Oh, yeah.
And then they go to Boston, a place where they have not played well in recent history. It's been a while since they've won a series at Fenway. So you got to do your work against the Reds. You got to do your work against the Blue Jays. Come home, try to, 5-4, 4-5 road trip. I would be happy with. Come home to T-Mobile Park and then start winning some ball games. It's a good thing that they're heading on this road trip, with some wins and some momentum under their belt. Anything, Mariners, you want to tell the people before we?
No, I'm just happy that they're hitting. And now they're going to Cincinnati, which is, supposedly a hitter's park.
Yeah.
So they've been in T-Mobile all this time. You move on to Cincinnati, hopefully it's a hitter's park, like they say, and these bats can heat up. Mm-hmm. If the bats heat up, the sky's no limit for this team. This team can go all the way, definitely. They have the pitching staff in place. It's only about the bats. That's all it's about. And if they get those bats hot, who knows what can happen.
I feel like I see you getting on the roller coaster right now.
I'm on it. We at the top, man. We at the top.
Don't you always come down. Well, that's enough, Mariners. We're gonna, we'll be talking about them every week. They got this road trip. We'll be talking about them next Tuesday. But now let's shift gears for our special guest for the episode, Gordon Hill, former Manchester United winger. Take a look. All right, we're back here on the Sidelines podcast. We got a special guest, Gordon Hill. Gordon, I'm going to run through all of your accolades. I'm probably going to miss something, but left winger for Manchester United in the 70s, over 50 goals with the Reds, 6 caps for the English national team as well. Won the 1977 FA Cup, the pinnacle of British football. Also played in the U.S. in the 80s from 81 to 85, featured in the Tacoma Stars here, the Indoor Soccer League, 84-85 here locally. And now you're spending your time coaching in the Seattle area and following Manchester United very passionately, doing the Manchester United, the Religion podcast. So, Gordon, thank you so much for taking the time. I'm sure I missed something, but...
Yes, you left out, they called him Maryland.
There we go. Yes,
one
sorry.
Of the best nicknames in sports, if you ask me. I mean, that's a great name.
I didn't do it. Dante, I never named myself.
But you know what? You never named yourself. When you earn it, you earn it.
You earn it.
You know? So, I mean...
I was given that at Millwall.
Yes, and also your time in Millwall and Derby County as well.
Yes.
Definitely notable. I have to start. I mean, all the accolades. You've accomplished so much in your playing career. What was your biggest What was the bigger accomplishment for you at the time? Winning the FA Cup, or was it capping for your national team?
I think the biggest thrill for me was when I signed professional and got the first contract, which was about $50 a week. I thought I was a millionaire. That was with Millwall. But playing in the FA Cup twice, winning and losing it was something that the first year we lost it to Southampton. We knew we were coming back. We knew we'd made a mistake. We knew that we hadn't played well. Following year, and it's funny, but the FA Cup, it's always for the underdogs. You know, Southampton were the underdogs, Man United were the new young lions coming through. We actually thought, and we didn't think that we would, you know, comfortably beat Southampton. We knew the players that were playing for them were experienced players, so you weren't playing against any dummies.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so what you actually did was you got prepared for it, and it was, I think, one of the hottest days in England. And it was so hot that the energy just got sapped, and the turf that you play on, very leg sapping, and it took away. And of course, I came off after about 20 minutes to go, because I was just absolutely just gone.
Now, what do you remember the most? Do you remember the loss, the first loss, or do you remember that win? What is more memorable to you?
I think that it's a great question, Andy, because for me, picking up a medal, regardless whether it was a winners or losers, was the best. And meeting the Queen was another one for the first year, and that was the last time she ever presented a medal to players. Pity it wasn't the Cup winners medal, but unfortunately, but it was still just an absolute pleasure. And then coming back the following year to beat the famous Liverpool, who were going for 3 more trophies. And we absolutely went out there and thought, oh gosh, we became the underdogs the following year. So we went out and we were playing against the Kevin Keegans, the Kenny Dalglish's. You're talking about the creme de la creme of football. And I put Kenny in the top best strikers as well. And we went out there and we were young. We were, you know, cavaliering and playing a type of football that all the supporters wanted to hear and see and experience. I think it was 90, 100,000. You don't look at the crowd because it's such a noise. But then when you actually finish and you shaking hands and know that you've either lost it or won it, which I experienced 2 years, the adrenaline just you're tired in the game, but when that whistle blows, it's like you get another injection of adrenaline, and it's like you can't get up and say, well done, Kenny, thanks very much. And of course he's sad, and you're in, and then you go up and you walk up the steps, which is you go up the steps at Wembley, and it's like 200-300 steps, and like you've just played a game, so you're tramping up there, and all of a sudden you get to the top and you go, whew. We come all this way to pick you up, and we looked at the FA Cup, and then we met, you know, the Queen gave us a medal and everything, and I've got the replica.
Yeah.
I've got
love to see this.
Yeah, this was the this was the final. This medal is 50 years old.
Let's hold it up. Yeah, hold it up.
Camera
right
here.
That's 50 years old.
Wow.
That I picked that up from Her Majesty, and cherished it ever since. The cup winners that I've got, which my daughter has in England, is the same, but just with a couple of bars across the top. I mean, as I said earlier, the FA were very cheap in them days, you know. So that was the FA Cup, and
you have it though.
Pardon?
You have it.
I have both.
Yes.
I have both, which you look at it and you go, wow. And you're playing against some really good teams trying to get through and wanting to beat you. And with the name being Manchester United, you was a scalp. We done them in the World Cup, in the FA Cup. You know, and so you was every game you played, whether it would be Peterborough, which we did, or whether it was Derby County or Leeds United, which we did, it was like we was a scalp, you know. Nobody comes to Old Trafford and takes anything from you. And if you remember, and a lot of people will, we went back 4 years prior to that and got relegated into Division 2. So the club was on a downer. And they came back, and I was playing for Millwall when Man United were in the Division 2. And they went through the league, winning virtually every game.
Now, you went on loan when
Yes.
young in your career to the Chicago Sting.
Yes.
Now, and you came back to England to play for Man U.
Yes.
Were you with Man U before you went on loan?
No.
Did you know you were coming back, or did they see those goals you scored and recruited you back? How did that
Good
work?
question, I think,
Yeah, how did
because
that work?
the coach at the time in Chicago was a guy called Bill Fox, who was a Munich air disaster survivor. And Bill and I got on very well because he was a fabulous player for Man United. Got the situation in Chicago and went to England to see if he could get a couple of loan players. That's all I was on. I was a 17-year-old, you know, like, here we go, whippersnapper. And then I got offered, and as I said, either you're pre-season or you can play. Oh, I'll play.
Yeah.
So on a 747 and came over, and yeah, it was an experience because the club would not sell me. I was their little golden egg. And I came over, and Chicago, Lee Stern wanted to buy me, but Millwall said no. They'd got the first division clubs. There was Arsenal, Tottenham, and then there was Man United as well. I didn't know anything about Man United until I came after one game for Millwall. I came back from the States. I was leading goal scorer for the Sting. I picked up the Man of the Match award about 95% of the time. But it wasn't that. I just loved it because it was a new franchise and a new way of showing the Americans the game.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about it. You wasn't just playing a game, training and saying, thanks very much, here's a couple of dollars, bye-bye. It was, okay, this school would like you to go and demonstrate, this school, and so you did a lot of after work to actually make the name. Chicago Sting, Washington Diplomats, New York Cosmos, Seattle Sounders. And all of a sudden, like, you know, everybody said, oh yeah, this is great, we're gonna watch. And slowly you then become a little group of players that people say, oh, I only read about him because there was only football made in Germany in them days. So basically what you did, you went out to the schools, you'd done your missionary work, so to speak, for the game of football.
Now, you mentioned the Sounders.
Yes.
Now, what will be your assessment of our to present day Seattle Sounders? How would you assess this team? Because a lot of us are worried, you know, they don't score enough, they don't defend well enough. What will be your professional assessment of the Sounders right now?
Well, if I was to walk into there tomorrow, the first thing I would do is their passing, their first touch. It's not good enough. And then number two would be their passing. It gets cut out too much. And then I don't think you can take away their drive, but their drive has to be better than the opposition. It has to. It's what we call a want. You know, there are three things: control, pass, and move. If those three things are mastered, then you stand a good chance of doing very well. You're not going to win every game, but what you're going to do, you're going to compete in every game, whether it's at home or whether it's away. And I think, to be honest with you, that's what's missing when I watch some of the games. The players now, if it's the next level, you have to be hard to get it out. There's no easy way. You know, I say to a lot of my young players, would you like me to be easy on you, or would you like to be hard? And they would say, I want you to be hard. Well, to being hard, there's no easy road. There's no easy road to being hard. And so you're basically saying, if I'm going to be hard on you, can you imagine what the opposition going to be? And you don't know them. So if I can get you to that level where you can, okay, fine, you've come into our house, we're going to give you something, you're going to go away with nothing. That starts to build up, and we've seen it throughout the world, Dante. The big teams, as they go through different stages of the World Cup, the strong get stronger. They play, yes, the Club World Cup coming here will be a lightener for you. Because number one is you'll see the what I call the local country clubs coming in, and then you'll start to see the real deal as it starts to progress. they'll take no prisoners. They will take no prisoners, you know. And as I said before, all I care about watching this and going to it is the welfare of the players, which is so important. To get a maximum out of a player, you've got to work the other side of him as well. He needs rest as much as he needs his play time. You're asking a lot, and there's a lot of games, but it's thrilling to see the Sounders trying to put themselves there. It's nice to see, and I'm good friends with Brian, and you know, and I wish him the very best. But I now think that it now needs, as you said, it now needs to be stepped up.
Well, and I wanted to ask you about the Club World Cup. You know, with these international teams having played a full season, and then they're going to come in here, you know, playing some overtime games. Essentially, the Sounders are going to be mid-season. How? I guess two questions. One, how do you think the MLS will? I mean, I don't think anyone is arguing that the MLS is, you know, on the same level of any of the top 5 leagues in the world. But how do you think the MLS will stack up and present itself? You played, you know, in America in the early days, and have seen how much the game has grown in this country. How do you think it's going to stack up? And do you think the Sounders can push any of these teams that might be pushed past their limits, you know, past their rigorous, you know, domestic seasons?
That's going to be a tester for the Sounders. That's got to be, you have to prepare, and number one is that you have to have a squad that can back up. It's not just having 11 normal, your best players out on the field, and having players that will not be able to complement it. So the squad has got to be an all-round squad, and they've got to be able to change, as we're seeing now with 24 players in a squad. They've now got to be changed with the same caliber. You know, you get a lot of players, well, I'm not playing. And the first thing I say to him, well, look at who's in your position. Is he playing well? Yes. How can I take him out then and put him in? It's your job to push that player. And what happens is, we call it, now you're getting the best out of that player.
Because the Seahawks say iron sharpens iron.
That's exactly.
That's kind of their saying.
Yeah.
Now, I would ask them, is there any glaring changes or things that you would do to this lineup, watching them, anything obvious that you would do, just in your style of coaching or managing? What would you do with this team?
I would play a 4-4-2. I would always have two complementing strikers. I would like to look at maybe a taller striker that could challenge, and a smaller striker that could pick up the bits and pieces and everything that's knocked down and challenge, because that's what I'm looking at. The players now seem to be athletes as opposed to players, and that worries me a bit, that it may be great at running but not clever at we call it the technical work, and then you got the practical, and then basically that's how I would do it. And I would have the 4 in the middle, that if one went forward, you'd have a 4-3-3. If one dropped back from the front, you'd have a 4-5-1. You could play a 4-2-4, depending upon who it was. If you're going against, say, for instance, Real Madrid, you have 11 defenders.
11-0-0.
yeah. So what you got to do is you've got to think, have I got the personnel? And people say, oh, systems. Now that's something that's brought up a lot, Dante. Systems. You can only play a system if you have the personnel that can play it. You don't say, oh yeah, Dante, I want you to play centre half. I've never played it in your life. Yeah, you're big and strong, and you'll be able to get in there. And he goes in there and he has a nightmare. And you go, well, I made a boo-boo there. But you've got to know, be realistic.
You got to put the players in a position where they can succeed.
Yeah, yes, and they're comfortable, you know.
A lot gets made of the Sounders' attack and their lack of scoring goals. I feel like, for me, I also look at the defending, and they've looked vulnerable, and it's a defense that's been, top of the league last 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
They've got an incredible goalkeeper in Stephen Fry. You've got, a Defender of the Year nominee in Jackson Reagan, Yamar, who probably could have won the award if he wasn't snubbed by the league. Alex Roldan has been holding it down. Nuhu, a veteran backline that's played a lot of minutes together. Yet in this season, they've been extremely vulnerable. A lot of mental mistakes.
Yes.
Some unluckiness, I would say. Some of the mistakes are harsh to pin on the player, but when you look at that from a manager's perspective and a backline with this much experience not being as crisp or as sharp, what do you go to? Is it the drive that you talked about?
It is the drive, but it's also, is the opposition getting better? And are you good enough to compensate and allow for that and say, right, we need to step up our game? They're great. They've done a great job. But then if you see a hole, you've got to be able to plug that hole, and you've got to work as a unit, and you've got to be able to, I call it the swing gate system, where I have two players at defenders, central defenders, left back and a right back, and I have a swing gate system where I can put them one in front of the other. So that means if somebody's coming, I want him closed down, I want you to back him up. But if he's on your side, I want you to go over and I want you to back him up. So if he gets past one, he ain't going to get past the next one. And so you've got that all the way through, which is what we call the swing gate. But if you look at it, it's also left back, right back, one player in front, one player behind. The diamond, which everybody likes, but this has been around for generations. When you move one player, it all becomes a diamond formation, and the hardest thing is trying to beat the tree trunk down the middle. They're going down the sides. But if you can actually compensate and say, right, I want him closed down quickly, don't let him play. Don't let him play. You give him 2 yards, he'll turn you. You're up his backside every second, and then if the only way he can go is he has to play the ball the way he's facing. If he turns, then you tackle. But that has got to be sharpened up. Watching them, and Dante, you're right. There are a lot of holes. The what we call ball watching.
Now, you mentioned the temperament needs to change. They need to get harder. And they say that you usually take the personality of your coach. So do you think, and I know you and Brian are acquaintances, do you think he needs to be harder on his players?
I think so. I mean, the how can I say it? The buck stops with the manager. He puts the team out there. He has to live with that, and being hard with the players is you can raise your voice but have meaning with it. You can shout, which really is abusive, but when you raise your voice and you make your point, you're making it with a definition at the end of it. You've got to pick up your game. End of story. We may be friends, but on that field you have no friends. So what you're actually trying to do is get them prepared, because the club World Cup will expose you. And don't forget, you're not playing against MLS teams. You're playing against Brazilian teams. You're playing against Spanish teams. They will turn you on a sixpence. If you dream, you go to sleep for 1 second, they will bite you. So that's why I'm saying, you got to lift them up. You've got to read the riot act to them. You won't read the riot act to somebody like Barcelona or Real Madrid, because they'll know the riot act. But if all of a sudden the Sounders want to leave an impression, that's what I would do. I wouldn't say, I can't tackle him. He plays for Real Madrid. No, you got the ball. I'm going to go through you. Make them feel that you're being counted and you're in the spotlight. Because otherwise what will happen is it's like, well, I don't want to tackle him. And if he's there, then I take no prisoners. Because once you step over that line, Dante, I can say like this, I can shake your hands, my man. I wish you all the very best. On that field, tell you what, you're my worst enemy.
I love it.
But that's the mentality, that's the drive, and that's something that that you're asking, and I hope it comes through.
All right, now before we go, Gordon, I just wanted to see what you had in the box here, right here. Can you show
I've got
our
some
audience?
chocolates.
On the Sidelines exclusive right here.
I've got some nice chocolates here, which I'm going to eat quietly.
Yes,
but
let's see
what I'm
you
going to
have.
actually show you is
All right.
this is 50 years old, and I don't think I could. Well, I don't know. I might be able to get into it. I don't know. I'll be struggling. This is the FA Cup final shirt, which I wore in 1976.
Okay.
This
All right.
is 50 years old and
Wow.
still in very good condition. I wouldn't put it on just in case. I might have to
The
get
fabric
a
might be a little
get a
vulnerable.
ball out again. But yeah, this was the shirt I played in the Southampton game, and I have this. My son, this is my son's, and also the medal that goes with it.
Right.
So I've got both of them, and in them days you didn't change shirts. You never had names on the back of them. So you had your shirt and you made sure that you knew the number. And I think, Dante, was you number 11? Who was number 11 here?
Aaron.
Aaron
Oh,
Manhofsky,
Aaron's
yes.
number 11.
Yeah.
Well, Aaron, you can't have this one.
History right here on the sideline.
You've got to be able to play to get that.
All right. That's what's up.
Well, I think we could pick your brain all day, but we do have to go. Gordon, I really appreciate you hopping
yes,
on.
thank you.
Really quick, Gordon, where can
Yeah.
people find the stuff that you're doing? I know you're doing the Man United podcast
Yes.
and coaching as well. Where can people find the stuff that you're doing?
I've got a website which is united-sports.net, and that is basically will tell you what the programs I've got and what I'm trying to establish with summer camps. I do after dinner speaking as well when I talk about all these that we're talking about now. And then I basically do I do trips. I've got an English team coming across in July from Manchester that they've asked if I would help, and I said yeah. And really, I'm a developer. I could have stayed in management, but I didn't want a heart attack. I mean
Yeah,
it. And
that's
if when I got a new pair of shoes with the club, that means I was staying for another week. But basically, yeah, united-sports.net. You get in touch with me. And my official site is gordonhill11.com, which is the Man United one. But yeah, it's absolute pleasure to come and talk about some fantastic, lovely times. And also, I wish the Sounders the very best of luck in the Club World Cup, and take no prisoners. Just go for it, Brian.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. It's going to be exciting to watch. Be sure to check out Gordon Hill's websites, the Man United, the Religion podcast that he features on as well, talking all things Reds. It was a pleasure to have you on, Gordon. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, we're back. Dante, what's trending this week? Get us caught up.
What's trending this week is birthdays.
Okay.
And I wanted to say happy early birthday to Kendall.
Ooh.
Yes, he's turning 65, and to commemorate his 65th birthday.
He's aging quite well,
Yeah,
by the way.
you know what? I want what he got. I want to drink what he's drinking. But to commemorate the 65th anniversary to Kendall, LeBron James
Wow.
of the NBA is the first pro athlete to have a Ken doll in his image, in his likeness. He's called a Ken-bassador.
Nice. First male, right?
Yes, and it's $75. It was released on April the 14th, and I'm hearing on eBay those things are flipping for 3 times the purchase price.
Wow.
So look, congratulations to LeBron James of the NBA, the LA Lakers, being the first male pro athlete to have a Ken doll in his likeness. I mean, what more can you say?
Well, and
He's done everything.
Yeah, the outfit's incredible. The kicks are amazing, and all I can say is Michael Jordan doesn't have a Ken doll. So take that.
Yeah, so do that make him the GOAT that he got a Ken doll?
Oh, are you kidding me? I mean, if it wasn't already set in stone, boom, there it is. Write it in Sharpie, chisel it in stone, whatever you got to do. LeBron James is the greatest of all time when it comes to professional basketball, and it's not even close at this point.
You know, I don't know if you're going a little bit too far there.
I'm not. I don't think I am at all.
You say it's
I
not that close.
I will say that with my chest.
You know.
LeBron James is the greatest of all time. I don't want to hear it.
After MJ. After MJ.
Wow.
Definitely
You're
after MJ.
you're still on the you're an MJ guy.
You know what?
That's why I tried to tease at the beginning of the show.
To be perfectly honest, I'm actually a LeBron guy.
Okay.
I love LeBron. I love what he do. He's a GOAT.
Yeah.
A GOAT. But he's not the GOAT.
There's one GOAT.
GOAT.
There can only be one GOAT.
Well, if it's going to be one, it's going to be Michael Jordan.
Man.
Definitely. I watched that guy play. Never liked him. I was a Detroit Pistons fan. I love Isaiah Thomas. That was my favorite player growing up. And he beat us. I mean, he beat us like a drum after the couple of championships we got with Detroit. But Michael Jordan, you can't deny it.
Michael Jordan's not averaging 25, 8, and 8 at the age of 40. I'll tell you that right now.
Longevity is definitely a case that LeBron can make. But, lightning in a bottle for his career, that was Michael Jordan, the greatest player ever. I mean, he set standards in this game of basketball that nobody will ever reach. I don't think it's even a debate, but I do appreciate what LeBron does. I consider myself a LeBron guy. Definitely, I think he's a great player also. But when you're talking about GOAT and the greatest of all time and the greatest ever, it's only one answer, and that's MJ. That's it.
I don't think
I don't even know why we having this debate. This wasn't even on the show, y'all.
Mattell doesn't agree. They got LeBron, man. They chose LeBron for a reason. Anyway, all right. That's what's trending. I wanted to egg you on. I had a feeling.
And you know what? Ken is only, 20 years older than LeBron right now. So
that's a good
he's
point.
still doing it. Let's move on.
Let's shift gears. We got a ranking to get to. Top 5, dead or alive. This is a new segment that Dante came up with that we're debuting on the show today.
Yeah.
D-Jack, you came up with a ranking. Go ahead.
You know what? It's time, y'all. It's that time, right? It's time for D-Jack's top 5 dead or alive list. And this week, we're going with the top draft picks from the Seattle Storm. And I'm gonna just start with 1, okay? I'm gonna go 1 to 5. The greatest of all time in Storm history, Sue Bird.
Yeah.
Sue Bird, she was the first pick overall in the 2002 draft, 4-time WNBA champion, 5 gold medals. She played for 20 years for one team, which was the Storm, and when she retired, she was the all-time assist leader. Her name is synonymous with the Seattle Storm. I compare it to like the Seahawks and Steve Largent.
Yes.
You're talking about the Storm and Sue Bird. It's just one, and she was a great player. So I put her on Seattle's sports Mount Rushmore.
Absolutely.
Along with Gary Payton, Ken Griffey Jr., Steve Largent, Sue Bird. That's my Seattle sports Mount Rushmore. That's 1.
That's a different ranking that we can
All
debate
right.
a different day.
We're going to have to do that another day. Our
Absolutely.
Mount Rushmore. Let's go with 2. Now, 2, she's not far behind. I actually put her as 1A, Lauren Jackson.
Yeah.
Lauren Jackson was the first overall pick in the 2001 draft. She was an all-star her rookie season, and by 2003, she was a league MVP, and the next year she won the first WNBA championship. So she had an immediate impact, and she was a 2-time MVP. Lauren Jackson, 1A to Sue Bird as the greatest Storm player. Now 3, let's move on. Breanna Stewart. It's no denying. Now, a lot of people go back to her college career where she was 4 for 4. 4 most outstanding player awards, but I'm not counting the college. This is not UConn. This is the Seattle Storm. But she still was great. 2016 draft, she was the first overall pick. She's a 3-time WNBA champion, although that last one last year, that's kind of suspect. I watched that. Minnesota, you deserve that. Okay, 3-time WNBA champion, 2-time MVP, 2-time Finals MVP, Stewie as they call her, a great Storm player, okay? Now, then we're going to go to 4. Jewel Lloyd. We talked about her already. The Green Mamba. She had the Mamba mentality. She was the first pick overall in the 2015 draft. She's a 2-time champion. She was Rookie of the Year. She left us with, many memorable moments scoring the ball. She was definitely a bucket with that Mamba mentality. Jewel Lloyd was a great Storm. I put her at 4. At 5, Ezzie Magbegor. She's young. She's still proving herself, but she was 12th overall in the 2019 draft, and she's a WNBA champion. She's a defensive stalwart, and she's one of the young pieces that the Storm hope to build around. So Ezzie Magbegor makes the list, or my list, at 5. And if we want to talk about honorable mention, let's go with Jordan Canada. She was 5th overall in the 2018 draft. And then I have my surprise pick, Lash Legend. Now, people might say, who is that?
I don't know who that is.
She was picked 2019, 24th overall. Her real name is Anrio Howard. All right, she only played 3 games with the Storm. Then she went on to wrestle in the WWE.
Oh.
And now she's with the TNA. So she's a wrestler right now. Lash Legend, honorable mention, along with Jordan Canada. And those are my best Storm draft picks. Now, a lot of these picks, what they have in common, they were first overall.
Yep.
And that's the success that the Storm had. And they were also back-to-back. So you had Sue Bird, then you had Lauren Jackson. You know, then you had Jewel Lloyd, Breanna Stewart, and Jewel Lloyd back-to-back. So, you know, the first overall pick has been nice and kind to the Seattle Storm. It helped them win, 4 championships? So that is my list. Top 5, dead or alive, best draft picks for the Seattle Storm.
Let us know on social media how wrong
comment
D-Jack
in the comment
is,
section.
agree.
Let me know. Do you have your list? I want to hear your list. Do you like it? Do you not? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think?
I like your list. I think there's an argument to be had, Breanna Stewart over LJ. I think you could make that argument.
No, you can't make that argument simply because she left. I'm still salty.
Yeah.
Lauren Jackson put her career here with the Storm.
That's fair enough.
And when you're talking about immediate impact, like all-star rookie season, brought the Storm, the first championship in franchise history, I believe. So, I mean,
taking the Breanna's free agent decision out of it, who had, and I'll, concede to your knowledge, you know a lot more about this than me. Who had a better Storm tenure with the numbers and everything? Who was a better player with the Storm? Was it LJ or was it Breanna Stewart?
I think
Breanna Stewart was damn good.
I think it's Lauren Jackson. I would take. I actually debated with myself about taking Lauren Jackson actually first, putting her 1 on my list. People downgrade what she did with the Storm. She set the tone, and she was one of those first imports from overseas and came as advertised as a young player, had an immediate impact. Lauren Jackson could be 1 on my list, but you can't go wrong with Sue Bird. Like I said before, her name is synonymous with the Seattle Storm. She is that person. She is the Seattle Storm, and now she's part of ownership and should be in the Hall of Fame this year.
Absolutely.
And look what street we on right now, y'all.
Yeah, wait. Oh, no, it's not on there. Yeah, you can see it.
It's up there right here, y'all.
You can see it
but we want to hear from you. What do you think about your list? Top 5, dead or alive, Seattle Storm draft picks.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know.
We're going to be coming at you with that segment as much as we can. I got to get in on this top 5 rankings as well. I'll be making my list soon enough. But D-Jack, that's all we got for today. Anything else you wanted to tell the people?
No, just make sure you comment in the comment section and check out On the Sidelines anywhere you get your podcast. That's it.
Anywhere you get your podcast, you watch us on the Fox Local app on YouTube as well. Leave us a comment on both of our social medias, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you find us. But that's going to do it for D-Jack. I'm Ethan McReynolds. We'll see you next time on The Sidelines.
Let's go!
On the Sidelines is available wherever you get your podcast.